we are. I'm going to record this section so that way I can put it just for your class to see. So I'm going to show you how to finish this off. So I'm going to remove this tape and I'm going to remove the top tape. So I want to make sure this bracelet is going to fit. And I know I'm done when I have enough beads that it go, or enough knots that it goes to like around my wrist. Now keep in mind, part of your grade for this, you need to have 3 beads in the decorative part of this assignment. I added a 4th one, so ultimately by the time I have my closing bead, there's 1 more than I needed. So you can use more than you need, but you want 3 in the decorative part of it as you're creating it, and then you want your last bead to finish it off. So if you may recall, I had this blue bead that I set aside for this. So in order to add my bead, I'll retape this down. There we are. To add my next bead, and this is going to be my final bead to finish off my bracelet, I am going to remove the tape from these 2 middle ones, and you'll do the same. Find the end of it, and you're going to string it through both of them because there's the 2. String it right through for your bead. Now, if anybody found that from stringing your beads through, that the end here got like a little bit frayed, if you need to trim it with scissors, you can, if it's hard to get through. The other thing you can do is just start to like twist it and turn it and wiggle it so that way you get both strings through. I did make sure I made your string long enough so there was extra. Okay, so this is how you would add your bead on, just like we did before when I started this on Friday. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate. I'm going to separate my strings. So now the center string, I'm going to grab one of the outside strings with the center string like this. And guys, please make sure you're all watching. I'm going to grab the other side string with the other center string. So this is what it looks like. Okay, now that I have these 2, and if you guys are working on your knots, I'm just going to ask you to please stop working for 1 minute and pay attention to the screen so you can see what I'm doing. I want it to make sense to you. Okay, so now that I have the 2 strings on my left and the 2 other strings on my right, I am going to make sure that I tie them together. So I'm going to take one set, put it over the opposite set, and bring it through like you're tying a shoe. Okay, so when I pull it tight, it looks like this. Now, if I was to leave it just like that, this would come apart. So I need to have a second knot there. So one more time, I'm going to take my 1 set, would be of a middle string and an end string, put it over the other set, like so, put it underneath and through, almost like you're beginning to tie, the first part of beginning to tie a shoe. So when I pull it tight, like this, I have a double knot there. Now guess what? You know how with the stained glass piece, you guys brought in your Elmer's glue? If you have your whiter Elmer's glue and you have a little bit of it left, you can actually put a little bit of it on the end of this knot and let it completely dry. It's going to seal the knot so it doesn't come apart. Once you do that and it's completely dry, and I would let it dry for probably at least an hour, maybe even a little bit longer, then you can take these and you can trim it so it's shorter so you don't have this very long tail like I have. Okay, if you don't have Elmer's glue at your house or a white glue to use, you can actually take this and you can, oops, I don't want to confuse all these things. Strings. You can tie it one more time So you crisscross one end over the other like you're tying your shoe, put it through, tie it super tight, and you'll actually have a third knot, and that's going to hold it in place. Okay. When you go to turn these in for your grade for this assignment, you should have a total of, like, your knots should be nice and even and neat. You should have at least 3 beads on here for decoration. You can have more if you want. Take a look at the spacing. They should pretty nicely be spaced. You should have your last bead on here, which fits. And you can see mine nicely fits in here. So it actually forms a clasp. And this is actually, you can just have it cut off. If you don't cut your tail on here, unfortunately, you're going to lose a couple of points. So I want to make sure that everything looks really nice and neat. And you can take a picture of that. So hold off and wait. If you have your glue, you can go ahead and add that glue to it. Okay, so that being noted, I'm going to stop recording this part. Once we finish our meeting today, I have to take the recording, I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll put the information from this video into